pretty clear looking at the pro day yesterday Cam Ward had. He's going #1 overall. He even told the Titans GM, hey, I'm solidifying it today. And it's just that swagger, that just effortlessness, arm talent, the confidence. He passes all the traits in my mind. The last time the Titans had a 4,000-yard passer, Warren Moon. Come on. This shit's crazy. So getting a guy like this is a good market for a quarterback to come in. Not as much pressure. I mean, the Titans are the least talked about market, least talked about team in the NFL. Nobody really talks about the Titans. We never talk about the Titans. So getting Cam Ward, a guy that's talented, has some Mahomes-ness to him, can make every throw arm angle-wise, has great pocket presence, can make every throw outside the pocket, can make every throw inside the pocket. Magician-like. He's going to bring a lot of attention. He's going to have a lot of people buzzing and talking about the Tennessee Titans. I think he could be the next great AFC quarterback too. He could fit in line with, the Herberts, Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, those kind of talent. You look at Brian Callahan, this is a guy that, worked with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. So he has background developing quarterbacks and helping quarterbacks reach that next level, reach their ceiling potentially. And Joe Burrow had some really successful seasons alongside Brian Callahan as his OC and quarterbacks coach. So I'm excited to see what Cam Ward could do in Tennessee. I think it's no longer a question. He's going to go #1. I mentioned him talking to the Titans GM. You look at Brian Callahan, how he was cheesing at that pro day, looking like Dan Quinn and Adam Peters when they were at Jaden Daniels pro day. So the pick is already in. And you look at how they operated this offseason, not getting a veteran quarterback, paying Dan Moore a bag, getting Kevin Zeitler at the guard position. He's from Tennessee, so it made sense him going to the Titans, but that's a really good guard. They, signed Lloyd Cushenberry last offseason to play center for them. They drafted the tackle from Northwestern. They've been making moves to solidify things on this offensive line, and it's shaping up. Now they just have to get more weapons for Cam Ward. I like Tony Pollard at the running back position. I like Spears out the backfield. Calvin Ridley, he's an 1,000-yard receiver regardless of who the quarterback is. I think a guy like Kyle Williams makes sense. A guy that's, rising up some draft boards. He's projected to be a 5th-round pick, but I think he can move into that day 2 slot. Great separator, has a really good release. He was the fastest receiver at the Senior Bowl, put up some great numbers at Washington State this year. In 12 games, he had 1,000 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns, and had an average of 17 yards per reception. Insane numbers, and he also overlapped with offensive coordinator for the Titans currently, who was the offensive coordinator with Kyle Williams at UNLV in 2022. So he knows how to work with Kyle Williams. I think this is a guy that could be somebody that the Titans currently have their eyes on, because after Calvin Ridley, who else is there at receiver? Treylon Burks, who it seemed like the Titans already moved on from him and moved past him. So you need to add more playmakers in this offense. Kyle Williams gives you that. He already has a connection with Cam Ward. They both played together at Washington State in 2023. Kyle Williams that season had 843 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns, while Cam Ward had 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,700 yards passing. So they already have a connection. They already have a good relationship. So bring Kyle Williams in, who would be one of the biggest steals of the draft. Depending on where you draft him, 5th round, I think that's egregious. He's super talented. Chris Sims just dropped receiver rankings, and he's the 2nd best receiver ahead of McMillan from Arizona. So Chris Sims had a pretty good prediction for last receiver rankings, and it kind of panned out with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. being the best 2 receivers in last year's class. Another guy I would add for Cam Ward is getting Restrepo from Miami, his #1 target last year. And Restrepo had a 4.7. Restrepo had a 4.8 40-yard dash. People are clowning him about that, but it doesn't matter. Restrepo always gets open. He's always open. Cam Ward didn't want to throw at the combine because he wanted his receivers, the receivers he played with this year, to get more attention and get more looks on them. Restrepo, he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. This last year, 1,100 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns. He's not going to kill you with speed. Has physicality to him. He's 200 pounds, 5'9", bouncing off defenders. But he's always going to find a way to get open. He has reliable hands, and he's going to make plays. He's going to find the end zone. He's going to, find ways to win against man, zone coverages, all that. So I think he fits in very well in the slot. Him, Kyle Williams, Calvin Ridley, and the Titans have a pretty athletic tight end. I like that, tandem of weapons for Cam Ward to maybe get things going and go crazy in Tennessee in year one. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.